Kumusta mga kaibigan? Welcome to Josh Friends, where faith meets friendship and inspiration is just a conversation away. This is Reverend Migs Ramirez, and today we are joined by a special guest who's ready to share some words of wisdom from your favorite books and songs from Jesuit Communications. This might just be exactly what you need to hear. So, sit back, relax, and let's dive into another episode of heartwarming stories and uplifting messages. Are you ready? Let's go!
I've been working in customer service for 1 year, and I've had to deal with interesting situations every day. It's a very different world from what I was used to. I felt scared, unsure, and frustrated at times. But there's this one thing that always keeps me grounded. It's this beautiful passage from Father Daniel Patrick Huang's book, Serving the Joy of the Gospel. I'm Silke Hipolito, and I split my time between being a lead customer service coordinator at Prototype IT and teaching violin at Yamaha in Texas Amps and Access here in Texas. But today, I want to share something that really hit home for me from this amazing book. In his baccalaureate homily titled Gratitude, Responsibility, Faith, Father Danny tells the graduates, I certainly see this more clearly from the perspective of 28 years after my own graduation. What struck me most was how so many of us were products of the Ateneo, and were doing what we were doing precisely because of what the Ateneo gave us beyond our expectations. When I read this, naalala ko yung journey ko from the Philippines to here in Texas. Minsan, we get so caught up in the daily grind, answering customer calls, troubleshooting technical issues for irate customers, teaching students their scales, refining their tones on top of our personal problems, that we forget to pause and really see the gifts we've received along the way. Just like Father Danny's reflection on his classmates who ended up serving the country decades later, I realized that my skills, the ones I learned back home, patience, ability to listen, love for music, and even how I cared for my dogs through their senior years. These weren't just random experiences and achievements. They were gifts that prepared me for this life that I'm living now. When I'm teaching my violin students here, especially the young ones who are frustrated because they can't get that perfect vibrato or their tone keeps on squeaking. When we, as a family, experience drawbacks with my mom's chemo treatments and cancer journey, and she asks us, why is God allowing this to happen to her? I tell them what Father Danny reminds us, that there's a bigger plan at work. Every struggle, every small victory, is all part of something greater. You know what's beautiful? Father Danny talks about how our hope should be broadened by responsibility. Hindi lang para sa atin, but for others too. When I'm dealing with a frustrated customer who's been on hold for 20 minutes, instead of just seeing it as another problem to solve, I try to remember this person needs help, and I have the gift of being able to provide that help. It's the same thing with my hobbies, calligraphy, watercolor, and even when I cook. These aren't just ways to pass time. They're opportunities for me to create beauty, to share joy with my family, to serve others in small but meaningful ways. Father Danny ends his homily with this line from Dostoevsky. A good memory is the best education. Ang ganda. Sometimes when I'm feeling overwhelmed, whether it's a particularly challenging day at work or when I'm missing Philippines, I remember those moments of grace. Yung first time a student nails a difficult piece, yung thank yous from a customer when the problem gets solved, and the quiet evenings with my family, discovering and sharing a meal with them, discovering a restaurant or sharing a meal with them. These memories, they're not just nostalgia. They're reminders that we're part of something bigger, and now we've been given gifts not just for ourselves, but to serve the joy of the gospel in our everyday lives. Whether you're a fresh graduate like those students Father Danny was addressing, or if you're someone like me who's still figuring things out in a new and strange country, the message is the same. Express gratitude for what we've received. Take on the responsibility for how we use our gifts, and have faith that there's a beautiful plan unfolding even when we can see all the steps. That is the hardest part. Let us journey together in hope. Journey with us with books and songs. Read more and get inspired by serving the joy of the gospel. Head over to JESCOM exclusives on jescom.ph/Josh and discover how Father Danny's wisdom can transform your everyday moments into opportunities for grace. Maraming salamat for joining us for another episode of Josh Friends. Until next time, remember, your life is a gift, and every day is a chance to serve the joy of the gospel in your own unique way.
Maraming salamat, kaibigan. That wraps up another episode of Josh Friends. I hope today's reading touched your heart and gave you something to reflect on. Remember, you can find the full text of what we shared today, along with many other inspirational resources, at the JESCOM online shop. Until next time, this is Reverend Migs Ramirez reminding you that you are never alone on your journey of faith. Paalam at ingat, mga kaibigan!